Bizarre disappearances, people who vanished without a trace. Imagine walking down a familiar street, heading home after a long day only to vanish into thin air. No evidence, no leads, just an open-ended mystery that leaves family and investigators baffled for years. Throughout history, countless people have disappeared without a trace, leaving behind only questions and eerie theories. Some cases defy all logical explanations, while others hint at sinister forces at play. Today, we dive deep into the most bizarre disappearances in history, unraveling the chilling mysteries of those who seemingly stepped off the face of the earth, never to be seen again. 1. The vanishing of the Sodder children. On Christmas Eve 1945 in Fayetteville, West Virginia, the Sodder family home was engulfed in flames. Parents George and Jenny Sodder, along with 4 of their 9 children, escaped the burning house. But the remaining 5 children, Maurice, Martha, Louis, Jenny, and Betty, were never seen again. What makes this case chilling is that there was no trace of the children in the ashes. No bones, no remains, nothing. The fire department suggested the blaze was due to faulty wiring, but the Sodders weren't convinced. George Sodder had noticed oddities: a cut phone line, a missing ladder, and even a report of a strange man watching his children in the days before the fire. Years later, the family received a mysterious photograph in the mail. It was labeled Louis Sodder and featured a young man bearing an uncanny resemblance to their lost son. But the case remains unsolved. Did the children perish in the fire, or were they abducted? 2. The mysterious disappearance of Flight 19. On December 5, 1945, 5 U.S. Navy torpedo bombers known as Flight 19 vanished over the Bermuda Triangle. A squadron of experienced pilots took off from Fort Lauderdale for a routine training mission. But within hours, their radio transmissions turned frantic. "We are entering white water," one of the pilots reportedly said. "We can't tell where we are." Their compasses malfunctioned, and the planes disappeared from radar. A rescue aircraft was sent after them, but that too vanished without a trace. For decades, theories have swirled: extreme weather, magnetic anomalies, even alien abductions. But despite countless investigations, no wreckage was ever found. Did Flight 19 stumble into another dimension? 3. The unsettling case of Lars Mittank. In 2014, 28-year-old Lars Mittank traveled to Bulgaria with his friends. What started as an ordinary vacation turned into one of the strangest disappearances ever caught on camera. After getting into a minor altercation over a soccer game, Lars suffered an ear injury and was advised not to fly home with his friends. He stayed behind, checked into a hotel near the airport, and then things got weird. Security footage shows Lars pacing anxiously in the lobby before sprinting out of the airport, abandoning his luggage and vanishing into the surrounding forest. His last known words to his mother were cryptic: "I don't feel safe. I have to leave." Was he being followed? Suffering from paranoia? To this day, Lars Mittank has never been found. 4. The creepy case of Brandon Swanson. In May 2008, 19-year-old Brandon Swanson was driving home from a party in Minnesota when he crashed his car into a ditch. Stranded in the dark, he called his parents for help. For 47 minutes, Brandon stayed on the line, assuring his father he would walk toward a nearby town. But then suddenly he yelled, "Oh shit!" and the call disconnected. His car was later found, but Brandon was gone. There were no signs of a struggle, no footprints, nothing. Despite an extensive search, he was never seen again. Many theories exist. Was he kidnapped? Did he fall into a river? Truth remains unknown. 5. The eerie disappearance of the Flannan Isles lighthouse keepers. In 1900, 3 lighthouse keepers stationed on the remote Flannan Isles off Scotland's coast vanished without a trace. When a relief ship arrived, the lighthouse was completely abandoned. A chilling discovery awaited inside. The last log entry mentioned a terrible storm, yet no storms had been reported in the area. Their coats were missing, suggesting they left in a hurry. Half-eaten meals were still on the table, as if they had suddenly disappeared mid-dinner. Theories range from giant rogue waves to supernatural forces. But with no bodies and no solid evidence, the fate of the lighthouse keepers remains one of the most eerie mysteries of all time. 6. The strange case of the Tromp family. In 2016, an Australian family of 5 suddenly fled their home in a bizarre road trip across the country, leaving behind their passports, credit cards, and cell phones. First, it seemed like an innocent trip, but soon their behavior became erratic. One by one, the Tromp family members separated. 2 daughters fled in opposite directions. The father was found wandering alone, confused and paranoid. The mother was discovered days later in a catatonic state. No one could explain why they had left so suddenly. The family later reunited but never fully explained their actions. Some believe they experienced a shared psychotic episode. Others suspect something more sinister. 7. The mysterious disappearance of Amelia Earhart. One of the most famous disappearances in history is that of Amelia Earhart, the pioneering aviator who attempted to fly around the world in 1937. On July 2nd, she and her navigator, Fred Noonan, lost radio contact while flying over the Pacific Ocean. Their last transmission was eerie. "We are running low on fuel. We are on the line 157 to 337. We will repeat this message." And then, silence. Despite one of the largest search efforts in history, no trace of her plane was ever found. Did she crash into the ocean? Land on an uninhabited island? Was she captured? Some theories even suggest she survived and lived under a new identity. But the truth remains unknown. Final thoughts: how can people just vanish? These disappearances defy logic. Some cases suggest foul play, while others border on the paranormal. Truth is, we may never know what happened to these people, but their stories continue to haunt us, reminding us of the unexplained mysteries that lurk in our world. Could they still be out there somewhere? Or were they taken by forces beyond our understanding? One thing is for sure, some disappearances will never be solved. Red circle if you found this story fascinating. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more mind-blowing mysteries. #mystery, #unsolved, #disappearances, #true crime, #Bermuda Triangle, #creepy stories.